Is there another witness? Can we keep calling the witnesses? Can you please step forward and take the stand? Do you swear to tell the truth?
I don't swear.
Okay, well,
I'll affirm that I tell the truth.
Okay, thank you.
I just like to speak in opposition to the notion that the death penalty is a legal entity. I think the death penalty is a violation of international law. I think we have a situation that took place that the world recognizes that the death penalty is not a criminal sanction, but it's a human rights violation. Last December, the nations of the world at the United Nations passed a resolution calling for a global moratorium on executions with, as a step toward abolition of the death penalty. There are now 130 countries that have abolished the death penalty either in practice or in law. And I think we need to take a look no further than...
How many was that?
About 130 in practice or in law. But I think we should look at the example of Rwanda, which less than a year ago became the 100th nation to abolish the death penalty in law. And as the people of Rwanda contemplated what they should do in the aftermath of a genocide that took place there in the previous decade, they were faced with the reality that if they prosecuted everyone who committed murder in that country with the death penalty, then they would have another genocide on their hands. And instead they learned the lesson that it was important to break the cycle of violence and to elevate humanity, not to engage in perpetuation of the cycles of barbarism. And I think in the name of humanity, the death penalty needs to be recognized as a relic of the past and put in its place along with chattel slavery, the subjugation of women, and other abominations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The court was not aware that so many countries had abolished the death penalty, so thank you for bringing that to the court's attention. She also had no awareness that the U.S. continued to do the things that so-called third world countries don't even do, which, you know, I think would be a shock to most Americans who want to pride themselves on the fact that, you know, we are the most civilized respecter of human rights on earth. Well, okay, thank you very much for your testimony. I'm going to move to the next witness. Would you please state your name for the record?
Hi, I'm Jordan Johansson.
And you swear to tell me the truth?
I swear to tell the truth.
Awesome.
Texas, you are no better than any other state. In America, you are no better than any other country. And as people of Texas and America, we are no better than any other person of our country, our state, in this world. And the death penalty is first and foremost a violation of our human rights and our right to life and our right to not be tortured. And so we have to stand up for every person in this world to say that we are not going to violate our rights, and we are not going to violate your rights, and we are not going to violate the world's rights. That's what I'm going to say.
Woo! Thank you. Thank you very much.
I swear to tell the truth.
Awesome. What's your name?
My name is Anna, and I'm a UT student, and I'm going to talk about mental illness and the death penalty today. Currently, the death penalty is considered constitutional for people with severe mental illness. Severe mental illness includes schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. About 25 people have been put to death with severe mental illness. Texas currently ranks 47th in spending on mental institutions and first in executions. Is that the kind of record we want to have? Shouldn't we be first in mental health care spending? People around the country say that Texas is backwards, that we're hicks. But I know we're not. I know we can do better. We can set an example for the country, and I want to work on that. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
I do.
Awesome. Thank you. Could you please tell us your name?
Sure. My name is Pepis Rodriguez, and I would just like to state that the death penalty is a violation of everyone's basic human rights. In addition to it being cruel and unusual punishment, there is no reason that our state legislature or American legislature should be able to put someone to death as a penalty for murder or any various crimes. That doesn't make us any better than the criminals themselves if they're even guilty of the crimes they're supposedly have committed. And thank you.
always do.
Okay, sweet.
All right, so one of the things that a lot of people have talked about is the inhumanity of the death penalty, specifically in the fact that we have the right to life, that everyone should have the right to life. But I think that what you need to call into question when it comes to the death penalty is not just the end, but the entire process leading up to it. And so one of the things that we, as activists on the outside, have learned to support is the death row inmates on the inside that are leading resistance against certain situations that are completely what we would call unbearable. And I'll read off some of the statistics here. Since death row's moved to Polunsky Unit in 2000, inmates have lost virtually all privileges. The inmates live in 23-hour lockdown, complete isolation. You can see here where the cell is mapped out. A 6 by 7 foot cell is all you get. Inadequate health care, dental services completely inadequate. You get sensor deprivation. Up until recently, they were not allowed photographs of their own family, and they're still not allowed any physical contact no matter how long you spend on death row. If that's not something that's completely inhumane, not just for the people in the cells, but the family members, especially on the outside, so it punishes more than just the inmate. So I think that that's what I would call into question today, and to encourage people to continue reading about DRIVE, which is that resistance group I mentioned on the inside, and think about ways that you can support that and help abolish the death penalty.